Yeah, have you
Yeah.
guys heard the term Luddites?
Rings a bell, but what?
So, those are people who disregard technology. It came from the
Okay.
early 19th century English Luddite who protested against the introduction of new machinery.
Hmm.
So, like you're saying, yeah, you're going to have these people who want to stay away, who are, maybe afraid of it or just don't want to get involved with it.
Mm.
They're just going to live a more simple life away from it, out in nature, maybe a little bit more kind of hippie-ish. But then you've got the ones that really love the technology, grasp it, try to excel with it. And I think there's going to be disruption in every sense of the word when people are starting to use this and how fast it comes and how quickly we could adapt. I mean, we're going to introduce this into war, into automation of drones, submarines, all that. They're already doing that now. I think the other acceleration could be how we keep up is that we augment our brains where we can adapt with it and excel with it. And that can get into a whole nother topic.
But that's a really good point, though, because if you think about it, won't we feel somewhat like we're inferior? Because if you have a general intelligence that is always going to know more than you know and potentially make better decisions than you make, how are we still going to justify our decisions and say that our decisions are the best ones?
I think the more human aspect will come out. Like, that's an AI decision, not a human decision. Like, you can see people sort of claiming that, and yes, it'll technically tick all these boxes, but what about, the human element to that decision? And I think there'll always be that sort of, conflict with, that people won't always just go, okay, well, it's smarter than me. I just have to, I guess, accept whatever it says is true. I think there'll always be debates, again, on who controls it and what their agenda may be, because people will not understand how it was built and maybe it's being manipulated and how can we really trust what it's saying. And outside of that, there's going to be competing AGIs. Each country will probably have its own and they'll all be saying different things. I think there'll be a lot of discourse just in general between the different AIs saying different things and then people themselves saying there's not enough, human decision making in this and it doesn't understand humans and it's making this decision purely for the corporation's requirements, the government's requirements, not ours. And so I just think there'll always be a lot of conflict around those decision makings. Over time, that may change if it's proved that the decisions it's making are benefiting people. Everyone agrees on that. But I think initially there'll just be a lot of very slow discourse. People won't really agree with what it says. Everyone will have different opinions and if it's right or not. And I think it'll be a very slow kind of time frame of potential acceptance.
Like, if we look at how systems may integrate slowly, I wonder whether there'll be a slight sort of paralysis to the decisions. But one scenario is, like, imagine that this really is a corporate brain. So one of these companies, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, they get to create the first AGI model, and that's licensed to government, to the military, to all sorts of corporations. So you think, fast forward a few years, and it really has influence extending into things like foreign policy, finance, education, and like you're mentioning, we go to war. You think how powerful that company is going to be, more powerful than any nation or state, but it's not governed by an ethical committee. It's a company that's governed by shareholders, not even citizens. So you can't regulate it per se. And now you've got every global system depending on this AGI infrastructure. This is something called the brain monopoly. And you think, well, how will that work?
I'm curious. In video games, cheat codes let you skip months of grinding to unlock special abilities instantly. Have you ever wished for something similar for your software challenges? What if there's a way to instantly access 20 plus years of specialized expertise instead of developing it all internally? What if you could solve in weeks what might otherwise take months or years? Would you agree that most organizations face a steep learning curve when implementing new software solutions? At my company IIIMPACT, we serve as that cheat code for companies looking to transform complex software into intuitive experiences that users love and that drive real business results. Would it be valuable to explore? And how might this work for your specific situation? Visit impact.io for a free strategy session focused on your unique challenges.